Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and I don't know how many post-game videos I am going to be doing here, but maybe we'll do them every once in a while. But I wanted to talk about my very early impression of the 2021 Maple Leafs, some new things that we saw from them, some not-so-new things that we saw from them, and what I would like to see from the team moving forward. So when I do these post-game videos, I want to see how good my eye is when I'm watching the game. So I'm going to pick 3 players who I thought were very good in last night's game and 3 players who I thought were very bad in last night's game. And then we're going to look over the advanced analytics from yesterday, and we're going to see if that kind of matches up, and we're going to see if I can contextualize things a little bit, because remember, the advanced analytics aren't everything. Little bit of a 2-for-1 special to get this going, but I thought that TJ Brodie and Morgan Rielly, especially Morgan Rielly, and I will touch on him a little bit later in the video in depth, but I thought that they looked phenomenal as a D pairing together. They just looked very calm and relaxed. I didn't really worry about them too much when I was watching the game. They made short and long passes, which is important in transition and when creating offense, and it's just nice to know that Morgan finally has a D partner who he can defer to every once in a while. Austin Matthews looked like an absolute man on a mission in this game, and even though he only showed up on the score sheet in the form of a secondary assist that came on the overtime winning goal, he could have just as easily had 3 or 4 points in this game. And the last guy who I thought looked really excellent in that game was the captain, John Tavares. When people ask me what makes John Tavares so good, especially when he's not hitting posts and he's actually showing up on the game sheet, he's just always there. Always in the right spot at the right time, a step ahead of the play. Now, he was a step behind the play on the one Josh Anderson goal, but in that situation, coming off the rush, it is a little bit of a mixed match to have a forward playing defense in that situation. Now, for the 3 guys who I thought were not very good in this game, I will list them in order, the last being the worst out of the 3, Frederick Anderson, Justin Holt, and Zack Bogosian. He stopped 28 of 32. If the Maple Leafs would have lost this game, he wouldn't have been the reason why they lost, but he also wasn't the reason why they won. Freddie's going to be under a microscope this season, and performances like this aren't going to earn him any gold stars. He is absolutely essential to the Toronto Maple Leafs' success, and that's why I'm being a little bit harsher on him than other guys, and if he's going to turn in performances like this, the Maple Leafs, they might do well in the North Division, but that's probably it. He made some nice saves. He let in a couple of soft goals. Just very average. If you're comparing Anderson with last night and last season to his first 3 seasons in Toronto, we know that Anderson has a lot more to give than what we've seen from him lately, and that's why I'm being so harsh on him. Justin Holt, I thought he looked really sloppy in this game, and again, the reason why I'm zeroing in on him again is because he could very easily be on the chopping block. Look, this guy makes $2 million, he signed for another 3 seasons, he's got a modified no-trade clause for some reason, but the Toronto Maple Leafs have guys like Mikko Lehtinen and Rasmus Sandin on the taxi squad. If this guy can't be better, if this guy can't be who he was in the first half of last season... And so it starts with Zack Pagosian. I didn't think it was going to take as quick as it did for me to just pull the leash on him here, but 10 minutes in this game, 25 seconds on the penalty kill. What is the point of having this guy in the lineup if, 1, he's going to be taking all the penalties, and 2, he's not going to be on the penalty kill when he is available to be? Because if you watch that one penalty that Zach Hyman took where Jimmy Vesey kind of passed it to the bench, that was Zack Bogosian taking 9 years on the breakout pass and then deciding it was the best option to not defer to Travis Dermott on that play and pass it near the bench, and Jimmy Vesey, that was stupid by all 3 of them on that play, but... I don't know, man. I don't see it. He's big. That's it. Now, if you're looking at the deserve to win-o-meter on MoneyPuck.com from the game last night, it's going to fluctuate a little bit on the screen there, but this game was very lopsided in the first period to the point where the Montreal Canadiens were just running away with this thing. But to the credit of the Toronto Maple Leafs, they really did respond to the Wayne Simmons fight and Thomas Tatar scoring on the breakaway on the power play to make it 3-1 in this game. They really did come on strong after the second half of the second period. But like I said at the beginning of the video, new things from this team, not so new things from this team. Starting on time. Can you guys please, it's January, you got some New Year's resolutions written down. Can you please start the game on time? In terms of the individual expected goal share, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, both really good games for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ilya Mikheyev, sneaky good night for him. William Nylander, of course, with 2 goals. But Nick Suzuki, Thomas Tatar, Josh Anderson, Philippe Deneau, the usual suspects for the Montreal Canadiens. Or the not so usual suspects, because Josh Anderson is quite new. With 2 goals in this game, a lot of people made fun of him because he only had 1 goal last season in like 27 games. When he was healthy, he wasn't very good for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Then he's coming off of shoulder surgery. The Montreal Canadiens give up Max Domi to get him. They sign him to this monstrous 7-year contract. But if he's going to be a power forward for them for the next 3 or 4 years in the prime of his career, where he scores 25 or 30 goals for them every year, it's going to be a problem. He's going to be a good player for them. When looking at the individual expected goals here, my eyes didn't really deceive me. Morgan Rielly, TJ Brodie up there. Austin Matthews having a really good game. John Tavares on a little bit of a lighter end there, but he did show up on the score sheet, and at the end of the day, the final score is the one that counts. Justin Holt was a little bit closer to the middle there than I thought he was going to be. I mean, maybe it was just the sheer volume at which he was carrying the puck. I just noticed a couple more mistakes there, but he carried the puck a lot. If you carry it more, of course, you're going to make a couple of blunders with it. Zack, Bogosian, and Morgan Rielly are kind of interlinked in the conversation that I want to have here, but 28 minutes and 35 seconds for Morgan Rielly in this game. After watching him play hurt almost all of last season and then not being able to get back into the swing of things and the bubble being what the bubble was, it's really exciting to see Morgan Rielly actually back up to game speed and healthy. If you're looking at Rielly's numbers throughout the years, it's pretty clear to see that the Toronto Maple Leafs were without one of the better offensive defensemen for almost the entirety of last season, with him playing injured. Back in the 18-19 season, he led all defensemen in terms of even strength points, so that's not counting the points that he racked up on the power play, of course. But a healthy Morgan Rielly is going to go a long way for the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2021. You know, if you're used to playing alongside Ron Hainsey and Cody Ceci over the last 3 or 4 seasons, you're the one that's carrying the puck. You're the one that's skating with the puck all the time. So those 24, 23, 21 minutes are very, very taxing for Morgan Rielly. But if you got a guy like TJ Brodie and you could say, hey, I carried it last shift, why don't we try something different? You carry it this shift. You know, it's not as strenuous. But even when factoring that in, Keith, can you relax on this guy a little bit? We're going to need him for the playoffs. It's a bit of an interesting strategy to try to develop Travis Dermott into a responsible 200-foot puck-carrying defenseman by making Zack Pagosian his D partner. It's a little bit of trial by fire there, but if it works, it works. Look, I got nothing against Alexander Barabanov, but he played sub 6 minutes in this game. You can't continue to tax Morgan Rielly with 28 minutes a night. It's another reason why the Maple Leafs would probably be better off going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen and spreading those minutes around the D, especially when you have a guy like Mikko Lehtinen, who is known for his puck-carrying ability. He could take a couple minutes away from Morgan Rielly there and shelter us or shield our eyes from Zack Bogosian making another breakout pass. And the flip side to that argument would be, well, guys like Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews already played 24 and 25 minutes a night. If you take a forward out, they're going to be asked to play just as much or more ice time. And I mean, if that's the case, the Maple Leafs have other forwards on the taxi squad. Go ahead and sub one of them out for a game, you know? They might not be able to play all 56 this year. I don't know, you play the Ottawa Senators a lot this year. Take advantage of those games and use them as an opportunity to get a guy a rest here and there. And if you were to just scratch Zack Bogosian and continue playing 12 forwards and 6 defensemen here, that would be a roster size of 22, and currently the Toronto Maple Leafs can't afford that. Maybe they'll roll the dice and put Aaron Dell on waivers for purpose of being on the taxi squad, and that would give them a little bit more flexibility in terms of the salary cap, but I can't imagine them carrying 3 goalies all season long, but at the same time, they just might. Now, the last thing that I wanted to touch on in this video, and maybe if it becomes more of a theme, I'll dedicate an entire video to it, but Austin Matthews on the penalty kill. Brian Burke talked about it on the broadcast, and everyone kind of jumped on him, but I thought he was right, but he was right for the wrong reasons. His idea of only exclusively using third and fourth liners, or grunts as he calls them, on the penalty kill is just not true. There are star players, like a friend of mine pointed out over text last night, like Patrice Bergeron or Jonathan Toews. There are elite skilled players who kill penalties. But the question that I would ask is, what do you pay this player for? For Patrice Bergeron, you pay him to be a 200-foot centerman who is responsible defensively and can play on the penalty kill and can score for you. The Toronto Maple Leafs pay Austin Matthews to score all the goals in the world, and over the years he has gotten better 5-on-5 defensively, and that's great. I like that he's taken that initiative and tried to round out his game in that respect, but the Toronto Maple Leafs do not pay Austin Matthews to kill penalties. I do not want him killing penalties. When I said over the offseason that I wanted Austin Matthews to play more, I meant at 5-on-5 or on the power play, not on the penalty kill. And just really quickly, because I need to touch on it here, but I'm running out of time because I don't want to make the video too long, but I am not a fan of splitting up the power play units and playing them both equally. You have Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander on your team. Forget that there's even a second unit. Run those guys out there 70-80% of the time. Give them all the power play minutes in the world. Wayne Simmons, Joe Thornton, Jason Spezza, they might be good on the power play, but they're not as good as those guys. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Make sure to like the video if you did like it and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And guys, we play the Montreal Canadiens again on Friday night.